guys, it's Carlos and Richard here at Ultimate Fitness Training, Jet Fitness. So today we're doing a video about Ask the Trainer show. So we basically got a lot of questions that obviously a lot of you guys tuned in and asked me and Richard a lot of questions. So I'm going to let Richard obviously ask me a couple of questions and I'll ask Richard some questions too. So hopefully we'll be able to answer them to the best of our ability. So I'm just going to ask a couple of questions to Richard as well. I'm just trying to straighten the camera, sorry about that, because Richard's that big normally. Most people I interview with a quite reasonable size, so I need to adjust the camera. Yeah, Richard, what do you think about the training that we do, that I've been doing with you all these years? What do you think is different from what you've done before?
It's a lot different. Obviously, it suits my body. Suits my metabolism. You know, what we used to do before, as in how I was trained before, was like compounds and, you know, straightforward push exercises, which never worked for me. You know what I mean? My body needs stimulation, you know, and Carlos actually found that niche to push my body to the next stage. I mean, I got to a stage I was training with people and I wasn't getting pushed. And that's the thing, my body got to a plateau, so I needed someone to push me to the next stage. And this is where Carlos comes in. And let me tell you, my first session, my first set, I actually questioned why what I'm doing, because it hurt. You know what, after the session, it was the best feeling ever, and I never stopped up till now. Even though me and Carlos parted, because obviously I left Birmingham, I still kept the same principles, and it's up to now, my body's still staying improved. So now I've come back so many years later for Carlos to push my body to the next stage.
Yeah, so what we've done years ago, Richard used to train me quite consistently, so obviously then he moved away. And then I believe it or not, it hasn't been 7 years, it's been probably about 6 years. He's now back in the mix really. So obviously we're going to be working together and help him to obviously get to a bigger version of himself. For the guys out there, obviously that probably trying to get into weight training and seeing his physique and thinking, wow, perfect physique. Yeah, he has got, for someone that walks in the gym, perfect physique, great physique. Very balanced as well, but what we're trying to do, we're trying to look at certain areas, as I said before, where he needs to improve, which is he's doing it anyway. So going back to a couple of questions that Richard may have for me, what do you think about certain things that you think you want to ask me for the viewers? Maybe ask some questions about bodybuilding, maybe supplements, maybe diet, what people are looking for and stuff.
Okay. You know, when it comes to diet, somebody with probably slow metabolism, what kind of diet would you actually, you know, put together?
Yeah, I mean, people with slow metabolism, obviously, is people tend to put a lot of weight on. So it's very, very much advisable to obviously, first and foremost, before the diet, obviously increase your aerobic and your activity. So aerobic activity and your anaerobic activity, which obviously means your exercise and weight training and metabolism needs to be revved. So I definitely advise you to start that as well. Alongside someone that's got a low metabolism is obviously put down on your macronutrients as well and the amount of calories you take in. So obviously you'd have to have a proper design diet with the respective macronutrients and the respective amount of calories to suit the body that you're working with. Now, this is the thing with diets and training. Now, you speak to loads of different sort of experts. So you can speak to 10, 100, 1,000. The more you speak, the more different opinions you have. I tell you one thing I do tend to do is to stick to things I work with. Now I've trained so many different bodies, and I can tell you that for instance I train someone like Richard now, and then you'll probably see me tomorrow training with someone like a fitness model or maybe someone that can't even walk on a treadmill. I've done so many different physiques where I've been very blessed to do that because obviously I've got different sort of clientele, which then diverse my knowledge. Now, one thing I can tell you is every diet I devise for people, it works. Now, what happens in this industry is a lot of people talk to a lot of people, and obviously if you talk to 10 different people, Richard will tell you, you'll have 10 different opinions.
Don't deviate from the process.
There you go.
Just stick to the process.
He's a perfect example of that. And Richard, tell me about if you went into 10 different gyms, how many opinions would you have?
Thousands.
There you go. And this guy, believe it or not, he's been in the game for over 20 years. So he's probably training more gyms than we have seen. You know, he knows his stuff. He's a proven record that he has done it. So his body talks a story, do you know? He doesn't even need to say it. I mean, you look at him, you can tell he's been training for many, many years. Now, and this is the thing with people about diets and nutrition and training. You talk to 10 different people, you get 10 different stories. But ask the question, as that person that's giving you opinion, have they done it? Have they done it not just for themselves, but have they done it with consistently for 10, 100, 1,000 different people? Because a lot of the times you've got people out there, they talk a lot of a good game, but they never done it with anyone.
Textbook PTs.
There you go. And this is not just a video about nothing anybody. It's just about, remember, stick to what you know and stick to things that really works. And this is why it goes back to what I was just saying earlier. What I tend to do with people is always recommend things that has worked, not just for me, but have worked for other clients that got track record. Now, once you start asking that person and that person and that person and that person, you're literally losing the focus on what you're supposed to be doing. And next thing you know, once you don't believe in the product, you're losing it. So, Richard, what do you think? My question for you: what would you think is one of the most important things for people to stick to their own training, to stick to their own regime? What would you think is the best thing?
The best things, I mean, as I said, everybody's different, you know, and you got to find what works for you. You know, some people can show you like certain exercises you can do, but you know, if you try alternatives, if you do like a row with a dumbbell, try cable. If you feel it better with cable, stick with the cable. That's what I tend to do. You know what I mean? If I don't feel it, I don't do it. And that's what you need to do. Get to know your own body. Get to know what your body responds to the nutrition and the training methods. You know, your body adapts day to day. You know what I mean? Hour to hour. So you got to stress the muscles, push boundaries. You know what I mean? Train to failure. You know, don't just put a number in your head and go, I'm going to do 10 reps and put the bar down. No, your body can go more. Keep pushing. Keep training hard. Don't stop. Don't give up. You know, this is the lifestyle. If you want that perfect physique, you want that goal body, you have to work for it. You know what I mean? It's not given to you. So always remember that. You know what I mean? You come to a gym for a reason. You know, to look good, to be healthy, and probably one day you probably want to, you know, jump on stage. It opens doors for you, many opportunities. So don't think, you know, just go in the gym and train, and that's what it is. There's more to it.
Now, one thing I've got to say, and this is one thing that obviously is not just about questions, it's about saying about Richard. Like, for instance, you've got a guy like this. Most people obviously look at him, can tell straight away what he does, but he's a very humble guy as well. That's one of the things that probably guys out there that are new to the game. I mean, obviously, as you probably know, I've been in the game for that many years now, and I've been into so many different gyms, different people. And I give you an example. Like, there's this sort of like, you know, like sort of fashion of attitude now, where kids, young kids, mostly young kids that begin to train, they haven't even really done anything in the game, and they're walking up with a vest looking like as if they in their minds they probably think they look like Richard, but they don't. They probably look like more like someone that's never touched a barbell. So obviously, and then they change their criteria in terms of the way their attitude is. So they think they are Mr. Olympia. Stay humble. I mean, Richard will obviously advise you that as well. Just stay humble, because you know this guy, for instance, this guy obviously done a lot in the game, but he's still a humble guy. You know, he's the kind of guy that you'll probably see him and think, oh, well, I'm not going to approach that guy. But he's the humblest guy I've ever met. You know, down to earth. You'll ask him about nutrition, training, he'll tell you what he's done. Do you know what I mean? And that, I think that there's more, we need more of that, because the reason why we say we need more of that is because, you know, this game is full of like egos. And a lot of the times is you walk in the gym and see a guy like this, if he's got an attitude, you get put off. And remember, like the more humble you stay, the more people think good of you. And that's the thing with this game, you know, a lot of guys out there now, they haven't even competed, they don't even know how to train, they're walking up as if they're like, you know, they own the bodybuilding game, and I think that's probably one of the worst things I would say in this game. Would you agree with me?
I definitely agree. You know what I mean, I support the new generation. You know, on my Instagram page, you know, all I do is support the younger, the new generation of bodybuilders, fitness models, muscle models, bikini, figure train. You know, if I come to you and I approach you and I say, you know what, you got that potential, believe what I say. I don't say things for the sake of it. And a lot of people I've said the same thing to, and now they're holding title, they're sponsored, you know, because I believed in them, you know what I mean, when they started to believe themselves. A lot of people got a lot of potential out there, but they think they can't do it. Just, you know, just do it, you know what I mean, stay in the gym, be consistent, and when you're ready, you know what I mean, ask the question, don't be scared, you know what I mean, if you want to, you know, want to jump on stage, or try something different, or go into modeling, you know, ask the question. If you've got potential, people keep saying you've got a good physique, they're telling you something, telling you for a reason. Maybe you've got that potential, so take advantage of it, you know what I mean?
Richard, like, for some questions, what would you think these guys, viewers that are watching this, what do you think they want to know from me? So obviously I've been in the game for a long time, as you know. I've got a lot of knowledge about training, nutrition, supplementation. What do you think these guys would like to know from me?
What you want to know, what's the secret?
About?
Training, about nutrition.
Sure. I've done obviously a video about the secret. There's no secret. The secret is, I'll give you the secret, okay? There's no secret, but I'll give you the secret. So there's training, also make sure you get the right training. And then there's your diet, make sure you get the right diet in relation to what you want to achieve. So get the training, which is obviously in relation to what you want to achieve. Get the diet in relation to what you want to achieve. Get the diet in relation to what you want to achieve, and then get your aerobic exercise to the amount of body fat you want to lose, or want to gain, or whatever way you want to do it. But those 4 wheels, I call it the 4 wheels, which is training, diet, nutrition, and supplementation, and cardio need to be done, okay? So a lot of the guys keep talking about, as Richard just said, oh no, what is the secret? Can I take this? Can I take that? What's the best supplement? You know, that's the thing, goes back to what we were saying earlier. A lot of the guys, they haven't even been in the gym, they don't even know what bench press looks like, and they're asking, what is the best drug to take? What is the best supplement to take? Before you even talk about those kind of things, start training properly. Give yourself at least 12 months of pure art training, okay? That means minimum 4 days a week, where you're literally pushing yourself to the maximum. And then after 12 months, you got a bit of development, then you do it. This is where you really see the people that have got the tenacity, the inspirational, the integrity and the focus and the vision in order to get to the next stage. Because this is not something that you push a button, take a few protein shakes, and off you go. We've got a physique. It takes a long time. It's something that it takes years to do.
It takes years. Like I use the example of like to build your house. You know, bodybuilding to me, like building physics, to build your house. And what do you do first when you build your house?
Foundation.
You start the foundation. And what you do afterwards? The structure. And what you do, you put your furniture in, and you grow into your structure. So your furniture, you put in, you know, the stuff in to grow. You know what I mean?
I think the finer
detail.
I think the new generation, they already put in the wallpaper before the walls gone up. They already got the spotlights. There's no room.
No, they got the TV. You got the TV before the house. You know what I mean?
And that doesn't work. That doesn't work. And that's why it's good to obviously speak to people like Richard, that's been in the game for over 20 years. And these guys have been. When I say this guy has seen different generations in the gym. So obviously, I've got to say, like years ago, people were a little bit more humble about the training. People listened. People trying to do things a lot better. I think now there's this craze. Obviously, don't take me wrong. I'm not just criticizing about. Obviously, it's great to have Instagram and people putting pictures. Fantastic. It's great. I think there's better bodies. As the years go by, of course, because of the science behind it, because of the supplements behind it, because there's so much more knowledge. But I think people just need to calm down and start looking sometimes for the basics and stay humble. Stay humble, because at the end of the day, we're all learning with each other. At the end of the day, bottom line is we all try to be the best we can be. We don't need to obviously go out there and say that we're taking over the bloody world. You know, it's about actually going out there, become your best version, and actually stay humble and be happy with what you've got, isn't it?
Yeah, and keep it simple. You know what I mean? Inspire people. You know what I mean? Totally. And that's what it boils down to. You know, for me, if I can inspire someone, you know, that means more to me than having a check, you know, or another sponsor. It's about inspiring people and for them to have their journey. You know what I mean? And one day they'll probably go on stage, win a title, get to Olympia, you know, and I can say, you know what? You know what I mean? They'll probably come back to me and say, you know what? Thank you. Totally. And that means much more than, you know, anything else, you know what I mean, that can be achieved.
And that's what we stand. So with all that said, guys, obviously thank you for watching the video. As you guys know, where to follow me is on Carlos Trainer 10 Instagram, YouTube Carlos Trainer, and also Richard. Richard, can you just tell them your Instagram?
Ricardo Rich one.
Yeah, and obviously Rich is going to be obviously all over my YouTube as well, as you can see. We'll be doing some videos nearly every week on his training. Please tune in, obviously ask me questions if you want to ask Richard questions as well. He's more than happy to help you guys and help me and help us become our greatest version. So with all that said, stay happy, stay healthy, stay fit, take care.